The stakes have never been higher. The competition has never been stronger. 42 drivers, 25 rounds. One will be crowned champion. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. Tune in Wednesday nights on the iRacing Esports Network to watch the cars and stars of Lionheart, the Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment.
This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
It's the penultimate round, the drink before last call, the romantic flame before you marry your spouse. And though the hour grows late, Mike the Hamsterdam still has time to glass slipper waltz his way past Robert Hartley, catch the eye of the prince, and end up wearing the crown. To put it less metaphorically, mathematically, this championship is still in doubt. Add to that the Colombian salsa. The late to the ball Felipe Calderon enters the party by winning back-to-back at Donington and Interlagos. David Baton and Jean Fittis are cast as the evil stepsisters, and it all takes place in the enchanted forest that is Virginia International Raceway. Presented by Ricmotech, it's the Advanced Mazda Cup Round 11 on the 2019 winter season schedule. And all the once-upon-a-time strength-of-field action comes your way live as it happens right here on the Global SimRacing Channel via the fairy godmother that is the iRacing Esports Network. Greetings and felicitations! Welcome to another GSRC broadcast streaming your way on GSRC, coming on IESN. Nick Schmig joins yours truly, Bill Soups on, to bring you our Word's Eye View. Sean Crackers Ambrose has director duties armed with magically delicious cameras provided by WDR. Nick depicting VIR as the Enchanted Forest might be a bit off the mark. The Fire Swamp from The Princess Bride might be more on target. Tell us a little bit about today's racetrack.
Right, and this is the part of the show where the person in the booth that is born in the 21st century has to pretend to know what you're talking about and segue into talking about something I do know a little bit about, Virginia International Raceway. It's a track that saw lots of fame and popularity back in the 60s, but fell silent and slowly became farmland after that. A businessman purchased the historic grounds in 1998, and VIR rose from the dead, becoming the 3.3 mile or 5.3 kilometer track that we know and love today. While some of the bigger series like IMSA make their yearly pilgrimage to the Old Dominion, some of the locals' favorite events that go on here are the regional club races, many of which include cars like we'll see today in the Mazda MX-5. It's a track designed perfectly for the cars and drivers today. Long drafty sections, tight technical turns, and tricky bends situated on the green rolling hills. All in all, that adds up to 17 challenging turns, and in order to take a closer look at them, let's send you down to the track for the GSRC lap guide.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman to the GSRC MX-5, so let's do a lap around Virginia International Raceway. Coming down to the horseshoe, this is one of the more ideal passing spots on the track. In fact, the long straightaway means the MX-5 will be offering up a huge draft to anyone trailing another car. But this never-ending corner can be tough with its tricky apex and deceptively long exit. Get to the power too soon and you can slip off into the grass with ease. There's going to be a little kink to the left, and that leads into the curved braking zone of NASCAR Bend. Dip a wheel off to the right, though, and it's very easy to slide the car off into the tires. From there, it's a short burst to left hook, which is basically the first half of a slow and frustrating chicane. Ideally, you'll want to get a wider entry into the second apex for the optimal line. That arcs us directly into the snake, which should be single file, but that doesn't stop drivers from trying to take it too wide. I can't say it usually ends up well for either party. Finally, we get a little breather as we pop onto the bridge, but now we approach the climbing S's. In the MX-5, it's flat out, but once again, can't really take more than one car at a time. At the top of the hill, hold to the right because behind this blind crest is South Bend. This is a terrifyingly fast corner that is notoriously punishing to anyone who swings wide. The car usually slides across the track into the tires and your day is done. After that is Oak Tree, which is another turn with a curved braking zone. Nailing the exit by getting on the power as soon as you can should really be your focus. You can see up ahead of us the reason why. The long climbing backstretch will give you plenty of time to think about what you got wrong if you come out of the turn too slow. The good news is if you're at least somewhat close behind another MX-5, that good old draft will begin to reel you back in and give you a chance to keep up, or even attack. But if you're side by side heading into the roller coaster, I hope you got some guts because it's going to be a game of chicken at the end of the straight. There's a kink and a crest right as you're trying to slow the car up, which makes consistency a tall order at this bend. The track weaves its way into another technical section where this quick left-hander dumps us into the double apexer that is Hogpen. This is another critical corner because getting to the power early will help keep you safe as we climb back up the front stretch. Gotta make sure you've got the speed to keep from being attacked into the first corner. Hopefully you kept it on the track and have now finished a lap around Virginia International Raceway.
And that video lap, as well as everything on this broadcast, is sponsored by Racmotech High Performance Sim Racing Equipment, the most complete source for all sim racing hardware. They have it all, from starter kits and do-it-yourself plans to professional level gear and complete motion simulators. They can fabricate adapters, modification kits, and high-end hardware in addition to carrying a complete line of specialty products from major brands. See it all at racmotech.com.
All right, when it comes to the points, let's see it all. At least we can show you the top 5. Now, keep in mind that these points take into account the 4 drop races allowed for in the rules. To put it simply, it's each driver's best 6 of 10 results. Now, during the production meeting for this broadcast, the GSRC stat boys Simon and Poindexter were apoplectic when explaining the point situation. Because the points awarded for each race are based on strength of field, it's more of art than it is science that projecting how things could play out. For example, this season, the winning driver has been awarded as many as 221 points or as few as 104 points. So without getting without being too, Isaac Newtonic, the 87-point gap between the 4-time winner Robert Hartley and the single-time winner Mike Dam is very much spannable. despite the 166 pocket points Hartley has as insurance. Now, this was all talked about and calculated before we looked at who actually showed up. Neither Hartley or Dam are here today, so I don't know what's going on. We'll talk to Simon and Poindexter, get that figured out. My guess is both of those guys not showing up is good news for Hartley. There have been 6 different winners this season, none of those being David Paton, Gene Fittis, or Dries Nice, who round out the overlay. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the race details. Nick?
Yes, and as you said earlier, this is the penultimate round of the Advanced Mazda Cup this year, round 11 of 12. And as you just explained, those four drop weeks shown there right next to it. It is our last 25-minute race, last of the 9 25-minute races this year, last of our sprint races. We go back to the 45 minutes next week at Mount Panorama, and we have no pit stop tonight, as always in the 25-minute format. The 30% fuel limit, not enough to require a pit stop. Open setups other than that, as well as a 17 incident cap limit, which we saw play a part of the racing last week at Interlagos, so watch for that tonight, as well as this being an official iRacing points series.
33 drivers tried to enter this event, which means it's split into 2, 16 and 17. We have 16 drivers here right now. Sonny Kanchan leading them in qualifying, putting in a 2:09.2. That's about 0.4 of a second faster than the New Zealand driver Gene Fittis. Before we talk more about the qualifying, why don't we take an opportunity to look at the weather and see how it is here in Virginia. Nick?
Right now, we are looking at some partly cloudy skies and 73 degrees Fahrenheit there, 78 degrees track temperature, so pretty moderately cool day, pretty comfortable day out there in southern Virginia. Looks to me like the partly cloudy is more cloud than sun, so I do expect a little bit more grip in the turns than normal here, and being only just a 25-minute race, that probably won't change too much.
A big, fast track. There are some technical sections, Nick. Probably not enough technical sections for guys like Sonny Kanchan to break the draft. We're probably looking at a draft track, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, the first couple of turns, maybe turns 1 through 5, are, a couple left and right weaves through the hills a little bit. But after that, once you get on to going through the S's, and then you finally get onto that backstretch, it's going to be really hard to break that draft, I think, especially just in a 25-minute race. No pit stop to break that up. With the backstretch and the front stretch combined, that's going to be really hard to break away.
6 different winners. We've talked about it in the pre-race. Sonny Kanchan is one of those. As I scan through, Travis Wallace, another driver who picked up a win earlier this season. He's sitting back in 7th right now. Riding on board with Sonny. Catch me if you catch him. While we talk about that, moving to the top of the qualifying chart. Is this correct? It is DJ Alisadrini. Hey, DJ getting in a good run, putting in a 2:08.9.
Yeah, good run indeed. The first one to break the 2:08 barrier there. And one thing I noticed here, along with a couple of smaller names that we haven't seen too much of this year, be up here in the top part of the standings. We have a lot of times spread out, just being such a huge track with these little cars. Top guys right now have a 2:08. Bottom guys have like a 2:11. So while we don't expect anyone to break away, speeds here are vastly different to start.
Absolutely. Qualifying continuing to go. It's just about done. And with it over, let's go to the grid right now. We have time, Nick. We'll take it a row at a time. It is DJ Alisadrini on the pole. The Bullet Train. We haven't seen him in a while. Asuta Shiriwa is going to be in the 2nd spot.
And row 2 being made up of the number 1 car tonight. I think that's the first time that's happened this year. Sonny Kanchan and Gene Fittis.
Travis Wallace makes up row 3. On the outside of him is going to be David Baton.
Row 4 behind them going to be Clifford Eben in the 8 and the 11 of Kotamiwa.
Number 9 goes to the Sheriff, Jordy Fike. He's going to be inside of Derek Holland.
And Robert Mason will follow in the 9 car. The 16 car of John White will be starting 12th.
In the Baker's Dozen spot, it's Atsushi Maeda. And then he's going to be sided by Mitchell Peak.
And to round it out, our 2 non-qualifying lap drivers, Steve Fasacci in the 5 and Matt Morris in the 13, rounding out our 16-car Mazda field tonight.
Sweet 16 worth of drivers here today. We're going to have a good one for you. It'll be fast, so make sure you got your snacks. You won't want to go away from this one. It'll be over before you can say dippity-doo. DJ Alessadrini, your pole sitter, putting in a 2:08.9. That is about 0.2 of a second faster than the bullet train at Suda Shiraiwa. We know Atsuta from racing in the MX-5 World Tour for a few times, where he picked up the name, the Bullet Train. Sonny Catch Me If You Can't, and 4-time champion of the MX-5 World Tour, sitting back in third right now as we continue to wait for Alessadrini to go ahead and take his spot at the front of the grid.
I believe he's celebrating his pole award right now. I believe that's why he's there. He is.
There we go. The unicorn is finally getting in line for the arc. All right. They're all out there now. We can get this show on the road here. The penultimate round, round number 11 here in the Advanced Mazda Cup. One more to go after this one, but right now our attention is going to focus on the pole sitter up front. Gather up the chicken steak, cover behind the cows, because it is Alessadrini out in front. He's chased by Shiraiwa. Back in third position, Sonny Ketchen slots in Gene Fittis, rounding out your top five, Travis Wallace. They head down into corner number 1, the horseshoe.
Not too much single file right now to start this race. Cancian on the inside there. Already a little bit of contact made there, it looks like.
Tried to get on the inside of Shiraiwa, could not get this done. He loses momentum. That's going to cost him a position to the New Zealand driver of Gene Fittis. Travis Wallace remains in 5th. A little bumping going on in the back. They continue to race. One car that got turned around. We'll come back and get it in a minute, but it was Mitchell Peak.
Mitchell Peak got into it with Matt Morris. It looks like they're starting to go a lot more single file up front here through the S's.
Alessadrini starting to run away with it, bringing Shiraiwa with him. There is a nice little gap of almost a second back to Gene Fittis. Sonny Ketchen cannot be happy with that. He'll want to get around the New Zealand driver if he can. Travis Wallace in 5th. The back half of your top 10, it's Kota Miwa, David Patton, Clifford Ebon, George Fike, and John White.
Yeah, Gene Fittis, he was able to slip up into there to third when Cancian made a little contact, and Fittis is going to go around.
Got a little help from both those, the Australian and the New Zealand driver get together. The Kiwi gets the worst of it. Having to take evasive action as Travis Wallace. People yelling, "Quit running in the back of me." Gonna come back, and we're gonna look at that one after we finish lap number 1. Meanwhile, look at this. The Japanese driver Atsuta Shiraiwa putting all the pressure on DJ Alessadrini.
We didn't expect a breakaway this early, especially, but all of that trouble created a little 2-car breakaway. Alessadrini and Shiraiwa up here.
Yeah, with the contact between Cancian and Fittis, it opened up for that gap to take place. Clifford Eben now in 4th position with Travis Wallace in 5th. Can we go quickly look at 6th spot real quick? This is Kota Miwa making a move. David Patton on the inside as they head towards the horseshoe. This is a battle for what would be 5th spot, and I believe it is Patton who's going to get it. Let me correct myself. It's a battle for 6th.
Onto the inside. Looks like he's going to get that cleanly there. Kota Miwa's going to slide in behind.
They come up on the back. We'll get that replay of Ketchen and Fittis when we have the opportunity. Our director will know when it's time. Up front, it is still Alessadrini pulling away from Shiraiwa now. Looking at David Patton. Riding on board with Patton as he looks up ahead at Travis Wallace. When Patton made the pass on Miwa, I actually thought he might get a twofer as he tried to look inside of Wallace going into the horseshoe. Didn't happen, but now here he comes. He's got a good momentum. I think he's going to get this one done. About another 2.5 seconds up to Evan.
Lots of drafty sections of this track like we talked about earlier. Now Patton's got to defend a little bit as Miwa's there, right there with him again.
See him in single file. All right, we're going to look at the incident that happened early on the very first lap. This is Mitchell Peak, where he got a little bit of a little bit of concertina effect going on. And he got turned around, but he's still racing.
Yeah, right at the start here, he got in with it with Matt Morris.
There you can see him lined up on the grid. And they'll be going racing soon. Meanwhile, I can report that Alasadrini and Shira Iwa's race in order. Now you can see the smoke start to roll. Nothing going on the track. You see the guys racing in the back. And when you see these guys get together, we can probably then we'll be able to jump to the Kanchan action. Okay. There you see the two. Then a little bit of this checkup going on, and Pete gets the worst of it.
Yeah, just that little bit of checkup, like you said, in front, and then just got hit there from behind. Nothing he could have done at that point.
Now we'll go up to the guys up front. This is the battle for what would have been a third position. That is Fittis out in front, Kanchan behind. And Nick, I didn't follow it. You said that even after Kanchan got turned, that there was still stuff happening, huh?
Yeah, there was quite a bit of contact between some guys like Jordy Fike, who's suffered with some damage. He's back in 14th right now. So a little bit of effect there for some other drivers.
Now here comes, as they come up, here comes the move by Kanchan here. Oh, a little bit of net code from that angle.
Oh.
Then we stay on and look at Kanchan, or Fittis parked right in the middle. Oh, and he gets the dark car there as he tries to get around. That was Peak, who got issues from the earlier, so Mitchell really picking up a lot of incidents early. We come back to Fittis, who's racing back in 12th position. All right, this is Ibn being attacked by Travis Wallace. Wallace gets that move done. He's going to bring David Paton with him, I think.
I think so. It's getting real close there. Got to get on the brakes. Everyone trying to push hard here, make up the few positions that they can that are left back out on the track right.
Travis gridded in 5th, is racing one position up. That's the spot he vultured when Gene Fittis had issues. You can see the clouds start to come over as it gets a little dark out here. We'll check in on the leaders. DJ Alasadrini opened up about 0.7 of a second on Atsusa Shiraiwa.
Yeah, we haven't quite seen the breakaway, but we're also not quite seeing the drafting that we expected. Of course, that trouble that happened in P3 was a major part of that. That's why we have only a 2-car breakaway up here, and Kanchan too far back after that contact to catch him right now, unless they really get racing hard up here for first place.
Okay, all you little soldiers in Clip Soupboard Army, get out your tools here and mark this down. The gap between Shiraiwa and Sonny Kanchan, 1.6 seconds. With 17 minutes of racing to go. We look back at 4th position now. This is a nice battle going on. This is Wallace, who just got around Evan, and David Paton. Paton gridded in 6th, racing in 6th. Evan up 2 spots, and Wallace up the spot.
Yeah, these guys have been pushing hard. Patton was battling earlier, or Paton was battling earlier with Kota Miwa, so he's really gotten up here into the draft. Just with only 3 cars, though, it's really hard to kind of make a separate train to move on the outside or on a straightaway here, so they got to be pushing really hard through these turns. You can see him go around the old oak tree turn there.
The best battles on the track. There was a pass for 15th position. We don't need to go there, but Atsushi Mieda got around Steve Fakachi. All 16 cars are gridded up, still racing. They're all on the lead lap. No real battles going on behind this one. This is the best one right now that our director's on. We can stay on a little bit so we don't jump you around.
Clifford Eben there. We got a good run, but great defensive line from Travis Wallace. Nothing Eben could have done, so Paton now goes right to the back of Eben. Oh! Off the track goes Wallace.
Wallace did a good job of not turning it back into Paton, who goes by Wallace not only loses the position to those ties, he loses it also to Kota Miwa. And by the time he gets the momentum going, he's lost it to Matt Morris as well. We'll take a look at this one. This is what happens when you push the envelope at the track boundary there.
Yeah, I think he might have had his eyes a little more towards the mirror than he did the windshield coming through that turn there. Looking back to watch, nothing he could have done there differently.
You can see him just miss the apex as he races down 8th position. Good battle up 2 spots in front of him. Kota Miwa. Oh, we're hearing the Katchen might have had an issue. Yeah, he is now. Oh no, it was Katchen was able to get around. It was Shiwa. What happened to the Japanese?
He had an incident.
Yeah,
he was pushing it hard. Got up along the. Looks like just along the grass and kind of couldn't quite get it gathered back up.
Yeah, the bullet train came off the rails there for that one, so it wasn't so much of Katchen making up the ground, it was the mistake by Shiraiwa, so he drops back to 3rd, Katchen moves up to 2nd. The interval between him and the leader, Alessadrini, oh my goodness, how about 4 seconds? DJ looking to become the 7th winner in 11 races. That's sprinkling around some. Let's go to 5th. Baton in a battle with Clifford Evan.
Yeah, that's this 2 and 3 car battle that we've been seeing. They've kind of joined each other. It's almost become a 5-car train here. But how about for 4th right now? Evan nearly getting a run there on Patton. Oh, and is that Wallace in the grass again? It is.
Yes, it is. But now he gets a move. He goes around Matt Morris, though. He's on the back of Kota Miwa. Wallace in 7th. Here comes. Look at the car on the inside. The blue car. Oh, give him some room. That's Matt Morris trying to squeeze on the inside.
Not too much room there. He made it work. I don't think Wallace quite wanted him down there, but he got through. And now side by side coming into the turn.
Travis tried to pin him low, but eventually had to move out to the left, and that allowed Matt Morris to get the spot, move him up to 7th in that yellow and blue machine. Wallace right behind him, looking on. Robert Mason back in 9th.
How about Matt Morris getting in trouble? Lap 1, turn 1. Probably first thought that came to his mind was that his race was done. Now in the top 7.
Did not put in a qualifying time, was gridded at the very back. He has made up 8 positions as he races. Let me correct myself, 9 positions, 16th to 9th. 16th to 7th, there we go, get it out, Sue. All right. This battle going on now. Up in front, there's another good battle. We'll stay on this one for a minute because this is hot. But there's another one, Baton and Evans still going at it. Stuck in the middle between these 2 hot battles is Kota Miwa in 6th. And
Evans
honestly,
been looking.
Yeah. He's got a chance now. He's in the tow. He comes out of Oak Tree. Down the long back straight. Let's see if the draft kicks in. If this pass doesn't happen, I pretty much guarantee that Morris is going to make a pass on Miwa. The defensive line from Paton, the defensive line from Miwa. Let's go back to 6th position. This is Morris working on the outside. Miwa taking the defensive line on the inside, and he surrenders.
Yeah, Miwa's going to let him go there, and Wallace almost got around to the outside of Miwa there, but didn't quite have enough gumption there on the outside.
Looking back, we right on board with Evan. And here he comes, making the move on the left side as he goes side by side. As he gets the best of Baton and gets the pass made. I believe he should be able to finish it going into the horseshoe. He does! Move Clifford up into... Jumping you around, let's go to 7th position. What's this, Wallace and Miwa? Miwa just got past from Matt Morris. And now he's under attack from Kota Miwa.
Yeah, Wallace just getting around Miwa there. Miwa falling back, lost 2 positions in the last 2 laps. So Wallace trying to get back what he lost earlier, and he's slowly is gaining that back, but he's got Matt Morris ahead of him now, and it's going to be pretty hard to catch him with the pace we've been seeing from Morris so far.
Oh, I agree. Matt Morris, they call him M&M, melts in your mouth, not in your hands. He is flying right now in 6th, and he is only a second back behind David Patton, and it won't be long till he gets up to Clifford Evan as well. Great run from Morris. Oh, we look at that one. I can report. I'm going to take you, Director, up to 2nd position right now because Yatsuhiro Iwa is on the hunt here on the trunk of Sonny Ketchen. Ketchen just took a little trip out through the Virginia countryside a minute ago. Shira Iwa about 5 car lanes back, a little too far to make the move right now, but he is fast. All this going on about 3.5 seconds behind Alice Adrini, who is cooking with hot fish grease right now.
Yeah, if Shira Iwa can keep it clean and piece together a handful of, just a couple of good laps around here at VIR, he's definitely going to get right to the bumper there of Kanchin and be able to make a move.
David Patton just made the pass on Clifford Evan, and that's going to bring in Matt Morris. This 4-car battle is really heating up back here with Travis Wallace in the mix as well.
Yeah, look at these guys bunched up, all in a line right now.
Great racing from those guys. In a second, we'll drop back a little bit, give a little love to some of these guys a little farther back. But right now, this is too exciting. Here comes M&M. Going to the outside. Clifford even taking the defensive line. Oh, my goodness, we're going to go 3 wide. Evan pulls out, and M&M says, wait. Now tucking his nose in there, joining the fun, is Travis Wallace. They're 2 by 2 through the horseshoe.
Wallace to the outside there. Don't know if that was a great move by him. Or Eben to the outside that was, and Wallace nearly got room on him, and Patton slowed everyone up there with the early break.
We'll stay on this great 4-car battle. And Kotomiwa says, hey, wait for me, let's make it a party of 5 as he joins the fun. Patton, Evan, Wallace, Morris, Miwa. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. There's the pass, side by side, and it's going to be Evan who loses the spot to Travis Wallace.
Yeah, that was a pretty tight turn there up to the hilly left-hander there for Wallace to get by him, and Wallace has a huge run because of that. He's right on the back door of Patton now.
Boy, we'd like to leave this one for a minute, but we can't right now. We got to stay here as we ride on board with Travis. Looking up at Patton. Evan behind him.
Wallace has a run. Definitely does have a run here on Patton. Is he going to put a move on him? I think he is. I think he's going to look to the left here. That's what he's going to do. And easily gets around. Patton surrenders that spot.
What a great run there. Wallace now up to 4th. We hate to leave this one, but we got to take care of a little business. Nick, how about a Trip and Dries back marker shout out real quick?
Absolutely. Back here, rounding out the field right now, it's going to be, looks like Steve Fasachi, Atsushi Maeda, right now is in 15th. Rather, he's going to be back there running all by himself. Started 13th and has fallen back with a couple of issues. Ahead of him, it looks like it is Mitchell Peak in 14th, and he started 14th and he sits 14th now and got into that lap 1, turn 1 trouble with Matt Morris, and he definitely got the worst of it because Morris is flying now. And ahead of Peak, it's going to be Jordy Fike, the sheriff, who also had some run-ins we did not catch on camera after that lap 1 incident there, but a little bit of damage to that 6-car indeed. He's going to fall from 9th to 13th. Ahead of him, Derek Holland, and right as we go to Holland, he's following a couple cars here that were just off in the grass. That's John White and Gene Fittis, who has not had the best of nights, running in 10th.
There's your Trip and Dries back marker shout out as we leave it on that nice battle going on for 10th there. Fittis, White, and Holland. Hey, you can join the iRacing community of drivers and compete online on the best racing simulation around. The best of the best in the Pro Series and as well as private leagues like the one you're watching now are spotlighted right here on the iRacing Esports Network. GSRC is proud to be part of the stable of the iRacing, well, part of the iRacing stable of broadcasters. We look at that 5-car battle there with Travis Wallace, Baton, Morris, Evan, and Miwa. That they've been putting on the show. With that said, we got to go away from it because just making a stab at second was Yatsuta Shiraiwa. He made a move, could not get it done. Kanchan remains out in front, and now he loses momentum. Boy, Nick, you make an attack. If it fails, you just lose so much ground. You got to start all over again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, taking a look at Shiraiwa right now, doesn't look too close, but he was indeed, and made a little bit of a stab, like he said, at Kanchan up there. Just the veteran expertise from Kanchan in this series, able to put on a great defensive line, and there was nothing Shiraiwa could have done to get around him differently there. Got to the door and just lost so much momentum. He's going to take time to gain that back.
And now he's back on his tail. Great run, about 3 car lengths back, 2 car lengths back right now. We don't need to go there. I can just report that Matt Morris has worked his way back up to 4th. He was at the back of that train. He's now leading it. Oh, let's go there. Let's go to 4th. This is just too good. Oh, going off with Travis Wallace again. He likes the Virginia countryside. He's seen a lot of it in this race. We're going to take another look at that one, Nick. And with that, that'll pretty much take Travis out of the mix here.
Yeah, I'm not so sure he likes the Virginia countryside. His car does. His car seems to like it.
Does a good job of getting it back on the road. So Wallace, we come back in 7th. Still ahead of Kota Miwa. And yeah, that battle for 4th now splits up a little bit. So the best battle right now is up here. Kanchan and the Bullet Train. Oh, Kanchan gets a great drive out of Ultra. What is this? There's no pit stops. Catch me if you Kanchan. Oh, he's just having fun. That Joker lap from Sonny Kanchan. That's fun. That's the back straight.
Well, Travis Wallace was looking for the Joker lap earlier. Couldn't find it in the grass, so I think Kanchan just found it.
Oh, and Shiraiwa makes another mistake on the back of Kanchan. He's going to lose all his momentum. He's still shaking his head trying to figure out about what Kanchan just did. I tell you, if there's... Go ahead.
I think we're shaking our heads, too, to try to figure out what Kanchan just did, and almost going for another one.
Comes back. Looking at it. Great racing going on back here in 10th position.
Robert Mason right now holding down the fort in the top 10, but I don't think for long. John White's going to look to the outside, and I think he's got the run. He's not going to be able to complete the pass. Mason's going to hold tight on the inside.
Oh!
That's Derek Holland behind him, getting into the back of White. Sends him into the grass.
White loses the position. Hollis says, excuse me, but I'll take over 11th. All that going on behind Robert Mason, who is rounding at your top 10. Back to the battle for second. They are 7.5 seconds behind DJ Alessandrini, who is racing away with this one. Let's see what type of racing line Kanchan can find here. Oh, here comes Shiraiwa. Oh, we're going back. Back into that battle for 5th position. Look at this. Morris has been passed by Evan.
He has been, and Evan putting on a great show right now. Has a great run on this section of the track. Really vaulted him up there into the front of this.
Great camera angle there as they work their way out of Oak Tree. Let's go to second. Kanchan was taking a racing line like a drunken sailor, and he loses a lot of momentum. Miwa is going to get the toe. They touch. Miwa is sideways. Kanchan tries to get on the brake. Miwa saves it. Kanchan is on the grass. Credit to Sonny Kanchan for getting off the throttle. credit for Atsusa Shiraiwa for keeping the car going straight. The pass is made. We go back to fourth. Morris ahead. Wallace being attacked by Evan. Patton watching on. Fittis is able to get around Miwa.
How about Wallace around Eben there as well? Eben falling back 2 positions.
Up for second. Kanchan goes to the grass. That's not going to work. Where are you going, Sonny? He's going to get the pass made, but he can't blow it up. Some creative driving from Kanchan. A bump from behind as Morris gets tapped. A little bit of a help coming on from Clifford Evan. Give Morris a little tap. The white and black car. Here comes Morris now, moving to the inside of Patton.
Morris sent it hard there on the inside to get around Patton. He did it well. Going to be able to hold that line. And now Eben trying to chase down Wallace for that spot ahead of him.
Remember Travis Wallace, who this commentator wrote off once he went through the grass for the 12th time? Well, he's up to a podium position. This is crazy. These guys all better be careful because Sonny Kanchan is right behind him coming up. All this going on behind our leader who's out of Oak Tree right now with a 12-second lead. Shiraiwa is safe in second with 4 seconds. The fun battle is back here for third.
Eben with a big run on Wallace there, it looks like, but Morris had a great run through Oak Tree there as well.
We can stay on this battle a little bit longer. Our leader just going through the roller coaster right now. Fun battle back here. There's Morris making the move. With that said, we go to our leader now, who just has one more corner to go out of hog pen. He started on the pole. He raced from the front the entire time. It's wire to wire for DJ Alessadrini as he picks up round number 11 in the Advanced Mazda Cup. Let's go back to third.
Absolute drama behind him. Morris into Wallace. Patton into, or Kanchan into Patton.
When it's all said and done, it looks like who's going to get there first? Like it's going to be Matt Morris getting the final podium spot. Clifford Evan is going to get fourth. Kanchan will round out your top 5. Nope. Gene Fittis is going to get in the top 5. We may want to go back and take a look at that one if we're able to see, sort out the nonsense that went on that final lap. Let's go back and Nick, you saw it live. I was calling the winner. Let's see what we can see here on this close one. We're on Koto Miwa right now. Here it is.
Quite a lot happening in one turn there for sure. Lots of hard battles and a couple of separate incidents really broke out of it.
The yellow car is Morris. And then I believe that is behind him. There's Morris gets up. Morris gets loose. He goes off onto the grass. Then it all breaks loose. It's an octopus putting on his socks. Can't tell what's going on. And there's Gene Fittis, who's going to vulture his way up to 5th. Boy.
Gene Fittis slipping through there, and behind that incident, that was Patton getting turned by Kanchan coming through there.
And I can announce now that the racing is over, there is a lot of going to school being done out there by one driver, explaining some good racing. We're going to take a look at Sonny Kanchan on his last lap. David Patton says he got DQ'd. We look at this final lap. We're right on board with Catch Me If You Kanchan. That's Morris. Kanchan goes to the inside. He gets clipped. He gets hit.
And I believe Kanchan got DQ'd from this as well.
He got DQ'd. Yes, he did. All right. Well, the racing, if you can call it that, is over here in Virginia, but our broadcast is far from done. We'll take a short break, but we'll come back to run down the entire finishing order. Can't wait to talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. See you in a few. Streaming cyberspace into your place via the iRacing Esports Network. This is the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the Advanced Mazda Cup Strength of Field event, round 11 from VIR. The racing is over, or whatever you can call we just saw is over. Let me run down the finishing order for you. It was DJ Alisadrani, who has no idea what went on behind him as he was wire to wire. He comes across the finish line 13 seconds ahead. Yatsusa Shiraiwa, the bullet train, saw some action as he battled with Sonny Kenshin a little bit there. Matt Morris, M&M, he was able to get that final podium position. He is up 13 spots. Well done, Matt. Clifford Evan is in fourth, and Gene Fittis worked his way back for a top 5 finish. Kotomiwa is in sixth, ahead of Robert Mason. John White, Travis Wallace, who was off and on all race long, comes home in ninth, and Derek Holland gets 10th. Nick?
Jordy Fike coming home 11th, and Mitchell Peak actually got to benefit a little bit from all of the last lap havoc that ensued. He jumps 2 spots from 14th to 12th. Atsushi Maeda going to be starting 13th and finishing 13th in that race. Steve Fasacci, quiet race in the back. He's going to wind up 14th. And then the 2 drivers that got DQ'd, it looks like Sonny Kenshin in 15th, David Patton in 16th.
All right, and with that said, we have the opportunity now to talk
Sonny
to
had
our
damage or
race winner. Up, DJ, we got you here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. You got a copy?
Hey guys, how's it going?
DJ Alisadrini, our race winner. DJ, first of all, let's start by finding out, what does DJ stand for?
David Jr.
David Joe. Well, we like DJ. DJ works. I like that one.
I think DJ's more of a race car driver name.
Yeah, definitely is. DJ seems faster than David Jr. Hey, you have no idea what was going on behind you. You just had a nice, quiet little race out there in front.
Yeah, that was the most boring win I've ever had.
Yeah, you're the only one on the 16 drivers that can say that, because it was nonsense behind you. How did the track feel today?
Hold on, I gotta mute iRacing.
Yeah.
Somebody's upset about the race. All right, what was your question? I'm sorry.
It's a shame. I almost wish you could patch that through, because the post-race
Add to the drama, right?
Yeah, absolutely. How'd the track feel?
It felt good. So I jumped into this race to get some practice for the league I'm a part of, which is Grid Life iRacers. Those guys push me hard every week. Some of the fastest drivers in the country, not just in sim racing, but like real life racing. They're all in that league, and you got to bring it every week. So it just happened to be the same track this week. So I thought, you know what, I'll jump in here and see how I do. And it turns out pretty good. So if you're interested, check out the Grid Life iRacers on Facebook. It's a group. Just to answer the questions, and I'll accept you in, and you could figure out how to join our races. We have about 80 to 90 people trying to get in the races every week, so we have to hold qualifiers to get in. So it's getting pretty intense over there.
That is outstanding. Tell us a little bit about your racing. Is the MX-5 your car of choice?
For iRacing, yeah, I'd say just because I like the racing, and it's just really good racing with the draft coming into play. And sometimes it's a little annoying how you can't run away, but we're all here for the racing, not just to do hot laps. If you want to do hot laps, we'll hop on like a Assetto Corsa and be bored.
Well, every once in a while they take the tour to a tougher track. We were at Tsukuba earlier. That put on a good show. Have you raced one of the shorter tracks yet?
Yeah, I did. When it was the Scuba 1000, I jumped into a lobby. I was racing against Lando Norris. Turns out he's pretty good at autocross.
Yes, indeed. Hey, well, it was fun to watch you win here today. You were our 7th winner this season. Way to go. We hope to see you in the finale next week if you can. Keep us in mind.
I hope I get there too, guys. Thanks.
DJ Alisadrini, your winner here in the penultimate round. Do we have anybody else? It looks like nobody else. They are too busy talking amongst themselves. So with that said, we're going to close up shop here. So let's thank everybody that made this possible. We'll start with the people in the Advanced Mazda Cup community, especially the Sheriff, Jordy Fike, for supporting this broadcast, and of course the good guys at Recotech for sponsoring it. On screen now are just some of the equipment and software used to stream cyberspace into your place. The original music that lets your ears alert your eyes. Hey, you're watching a GSRC production. Well, that comes courtesy of Eric Ekholm and June Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact each of them. Did you like what you see? Well, I don't know. If you want more of it or something similar to it, join us next week for for a 45-minute event with pit stops. That's going to be from Bathurst. GSRC via IESN will be there to bring you our bird's eye view. The next IESN broadcast is the Grand Prix Legends. That's going to be round 11 from Spa. Oh my goodness, that's going to be great. GSRC's Joe Peak and Johan Vandeveld will be calling the action. Channel your inner James Garner as the broadcast goes live tomorrow, Saturday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Well, you don't want to miss that. Lotus 49s at Spa, that seems the way it's supposed to be. Sliding us across your screen now are just some of the upcoming GSRC broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. Who are we? You want to know about us? Well, here's what you do. Global SimRacing Channel.com. We got other options. How about social media? Twitter, GSR Channel, Facebook, Global SimRacing Channel, Instagram at GSRC_Graham. Also, if you haven't done so yet, what are you waiting for? Head over to our YouTube page and become a subscriber by hitting that big red button. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Nick, Sean, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you for watching as we see our 7th different winner of the season as DJ Alisadrini picks up the win here at BIR. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race hard, race clean, and we'll see you on the track.